Hello, friends, and welcome to day 18. So, today is day 18 where I've been going live every single day so far for the month of February. So, welcome. Say hello as you come in. Drop hello in the chat. Happy Sunday, which is your should be your rest day. If not, I definitely understand. But come on in. We are streaming on two platforms. Instagram. Hello, folks. How are you all doing? Happy Sunday. And I'm also here on YouTube. So definitely, if you are not aware, I do have a YouTube channel that is SMM Realty Group, living in Montgomery, Alabama. So definitely go over there and subscribe if you have not. But welcome. And if you are new to my space, definitely say hello, drop a one in the chat so I know that you are new in this space. If you like my OG, always joining me, thank you so much. I appreciate you truly. And yes, let's get into today's topic. But before I do, let me introduce myself first, okay? Well, welcome everyone to my space on the internet. I am Shevvy a retired Air Force veteran, now turned leadership coach, but also I'm a real estate agent in Montgomery, Alabama, and the surrounding areas. So in my real estate business, I am part of the KW Montgomery team, but I'm excited to help individuals, first-time home buyers like yourself, and local Alabama individuals living here in Alabama to purchase their first or next home. So if you're in a local area within Montgomery and the surrounding areas, definitely you can reach out to me if you're in the market to purchase your first or next home. All right. So today I would love to discuss because I talked about a lot of different things that I shared with you all during the last 17 days. So today I want to talk about closing cost consideration. So as a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of different costs that may occur during your journey as a first-time home buyer. And I just want to kind of share with you to bring awareness of, hey, these are potential, not potential, but some are like, hey, this is what more than likely will show up on your actual closing disclosure form. And when I say closing disclosure form, oh my goodness, tongue tied, this is a form where the lender will provide to you along with your realtor, because there will be in the email traffic. You will get this from your lender, and your lender is pretty much just laying out exactly everything that this home encompasses when it comes to expenses, all of the things, and what you will actually have to bring to the table at the end for your closing costs. And this you will usually get within 3 days of your actual closing date. But say, for example, if there were like a misprint, or they have to edit the actual document, then they have to pretty much give you a new one. And then say, for example, if the closing date was 3 days from now, but then a day before the closing, they figure out, hey, there's some errors, or maybe you, after reviewing, was like, hey, this doesn't make sense. And then they're like, oh yeah, we made a mistake. Now they got to go back to the table and provide you with a new closing disclosure form, which pushes back the closing date to another 3 days. So, because all of those things has to be correct. And you want to make sure that when you get to the closing table that you know exactly what are the final expenses that you have to pay out. So I'm just going to go over a few things today for your awareness and for your knowledge, because the goal for me is to make sure that you, as a first-time home buyer, is aware of the things that you need to have in place, but also make the best decision for you and your family, or if it's just you, that's great. But you don't want to be surprised. You don't want to get to the end and be like, man, I cannot afford this. I don't have the money. So hopefully this will help you. And if it's helping you, let me know in the chat as well too. So welcome. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the closing costs consideration things, again, these are fees that you want to consider that you're going to have to pay as you move forward if you got these items done. The first one is brokers commission. So for example, if this is pretty much the seller's agent, but also the buyer's agent. So as the buyer agent, you pay for that commission. So for example, if you hire me as your buyer, agent to help you secure this home, close in a home, then before we even start that process, in the beginning, we will sit down and sign an agreement to say, hey, based on the seller agent and the buyer's agent, we both agree that this percentage will pay to each individual. And you go from there. And at the end of the transaction, the sales, the closing costs, this is a fee that you may that you will have to pay. So that could be a 3% fee you agreed upon, or a 6%, or whatever percentage you agreed upon with the buyer's agent, and so forth. So that is the first one. The next thing that you're going to have to consider for closing costs when it comes to additional fees that you have to cover is, excuse me, I want to burp when I get up here. Attorney fees. So this is attorney fees. This is like preparation or review of documents and representation. So just think of someone, if you are going through, and this is a big transaction that you are going through, that you're experiencing right now. So it is very important for you to like, okay, do I need to have an attorney to review my documents? If you be like, hey, I'm good, I don't need an attorney, okay. But if you like, I want to make sure all of the things are checked, I'm not getting, something that doesn't make sense, like I'm able to understand, then definitely attorney fees, because again, preparation and review of documents and representing on your behalf. So we talked about the broker's commission, attorney fees, and then also recording expenses. This is usually what the seller pays. Like for example, for deed, satisfaction of the mortgage, quick claim deed, and so forth. But the buyers pay for actual title transfer. So like for example, when I was purchasing my second home, I had to pay for like a title search to making sure there was no one, it owned the land, whatever the case may be. So these are things that you have to look at. And this is what your realtor is going to explain to you along with your lender as well. Transfer tax is another fee. If there's, taxes, owed on the property, then that person, the seller, will pay. But then you're going to be taken on for the rest of the year, depending on where you're at. Say, for example, if you are taken over in, the middle of that month, then guess what? You're going to have to continue to pay for the taxes for the remaining of the month. So that's a fee that you will incur as well. Also, title expenses is another one. Again, title insurance policies, again, title of the home, like making sure that this person is the true owner of this home, and you are making sure that when you purchase a specific home, that no one can say, hey, come later on, hey, that person that sold you the house did not have legal rights to do such. Okay, awesome. I have someone joining me, Just Lovely Lace. Thank you for joining, tuning in this Sunday from ATL. Yes. And thank you for joining me. And he just came on, but I'm sharing closing cost consideration as a first-time home buyer. And I talked about, things that you will have to pay at the end. And this is just mainly for your awareness and to kind of start planning as you're thinking about purchasing your first home. We talked about the broker's commission, attorney fees, recording expenses, transfers of tax. And again, this is, for example, like I said, with the tax is, if you're closing on the first of, say you close today, not today because today's Wednesday. Say today was a Monday. You close Monday, that person will pay up to the Monday, that Monday, and then you will start the next day paying for the taxes for the remaining of the month and the year. And then we talked about title expenses, making sure that you don't purchase a home and then you move into the home, then someone comes back and say, hey, you need to move out of my home because I'm the owner of this house. So you want to make sure you're searching the actual title to make sure it is a legit transfer from seller to buyer. All right. So I do have a question from Just Lovely Lays. Do you recommend opening a new account just to manage your home needs? If you are looking to, when you say home needs, do you recommend opening a new account just to manage your home needs? Are you saying let me just clarify, are you saying before you start looking to purchase a home, like in the planning stage? Clarify for me before I continue, please. Okay, a new banking account. Are you saying before you start, before the process, that the home housing journey, or during? Like, which one are you referring to? Let me know. Okay, after you acquired the home. She said, well, I meant after you acquired the home, but you can give an answer with before and after. Okay. So if you're looking to say for example, this is like you're in the beginning and you're looking to purchase your first home, then really look at, okay, maybe just creating a separate account where all your savings and all the money that you're looking to, based on what I'm sharing, based on your research and what you're looking for, what you will have for expenses at the end of that process. So if you're looking to start looking at homes in the next 30 days, or the next 6 months, and yeah, start setting aside, that money maybe in a separate account if you choose to, if you can keep that separation. If you feel like you can't keep that separation with your main account, then I will recommend maybe putting like, hey, this is my home account, where it's like all the money that I'm considering in a sense for expenses is there. But definitely also too, if you want, you can do it afterwards, where all of your bills, all of your expenses for your home can go into that specific account. So it is up to the person, honestly. Is it necessary? No, not unless you just want to kind of just separate the two completely. But for me, I have things allotted. My mortgage is allotted, but it still comes out of my main account. Hopefully that answered your question. All right. So any questions, let me know in the chat. And again, I'm just sharing with you closing cost consideration, things for you as a first-time home buyer to consider as you go through this home buying journey. Okay. And as your realtor, I want to make sure that you're not only just buying a home, but you are educated on what you are buying, so that when you move into that home, you don't have regrets. You don't feel like you got bamboozled in the deal. Like you feel like, man, I was able to make a great decision. I'm comfortable. I'm loving this home. And my realtor was able to support me on that journey. And that's what I'm here to do, is and support you on. Some additional things that you want to consider for closing costs are the loan fees. So for example, these are the fees that the lender charges you as the lender, the person who is borrowing, or the borrower. So the lender charges you as the borrower to say, hey, because you're going with us, now we have to generate and initiate this process. There's origination fee. There's also discount points. And if, for example, you like discount points. So for example, if you like right now, I'm not sure, I'm not tracking with the interest rate, but it's more likely it's over 6%. And if you're in the market right now and you are like, okay, say the interest rate right now is 6.75, but you're like, okay, I don't want to pay 6.7. I don't want to pay 6.75. I want to pay 5.75, maybe a point down. What you can do, you can pay for discount points. It's like you paying to go down a point. When I say point, an interest point. So depending on your state, you have to pay about $1,000 for that. So in order to go from 6.75 to 5.75, you'll have to pay additional costs, and that could be $1,000. It could be different depending on the state. So, and if you feel like, hey, I'm going to be in this home for a long time and I want my interest rate to be at 5.75 instead of 6.75 over the long term of this, 10 years, then it's like, okay, if you feel like it makes sense to you, do it. But if you're like, I'm good with the 6.5 and you can refinance, 5 years when it's down to like maybe 2.5, then I wouldn't pay the $1,000. Because I know when I was going through my process with my realtor, we talked about that and she told me like, it didn't make sense for me. So I said, okay, cool. And I'm happy with where I am at in the sense of my interest rate. So that's another one. And again, they will charge you for everything pertaining, because again, they are doing the work. They're making sure all the numbers make sense. They're making sure all the things that needs to be done in like to have that final package for closing is good to go, from the attorney, the loan fees, all the lenders, all of it. Okay. So don't feel like, oh my goodness, all this money I'm spending, but you want to make sure that your home that you're moving into becomes yours. All right. So another thing that you want to consider for the closing cost consideration is the appraisal fee. So again, the appraisal fee is pretty much, as the buyer, usually the bank, the lender that you are utilizing, like for example, with the VA, if you're military, they more than likely want you to have an appraisal done on that home, because even though that home might be listed as $400,000, these lenders want to make sure, is that value even realistic? So that is something, as the buyer, is going to be part of your expense. An appraisal has to be done for approval for VA to say, yes, we'll go ahead and finance this loan. And then they come back, like for example, with my first home, appraisal was done because it was a VA loan. And they came back where it's like, yes, the house was appraised 20,000 over the selling price. So I moved in. Well, I was married at the time, moved into that home with 20,000 in equity already in the home. So you want to make sure that, hey, and you don't want to overpay as well too, which is key. But again, that's a fee, that's a service that was done on your behalf. So that is included in the closing costs consideration. Survey fee, this is survey of the land. So for example, the appraisal is just making sure the value of the home makes sense. And then you have the survey. The survey is where you hire someone to survey the land to make sure that you understand the perimeters of what is all part of this home, from the front of the house to the back of the house, the trees and so forth. So you're surveying the home to make sure like you understand where does the line ends for you and begins for your neighbor, to make sure that there's no conflict of interest when you move into that home. You're not thinking like, oh, this piece of land is attached to my property, it's mine, when in actuality, it's your neighbor's. So you want to make sure that that is done. So again, that is additional cost because that is a service that is being done to make sure that you are good to go when you move into your home. Additional fees, which I will share, is the mortgage insurance. If you have a FHA loan, they require a mortgage insurance premium, but sometimes that can be lumped into the actual loan itself. If not, then you'll have to, pay a lump sum based on the home, because again, they want to make sure that you have insurance for your home. I have USAA, so before I could actually move into my home, I had to show that I have to call USAA to say, hey, I need insurance for this home, because if anything happens while I'm going through this process of this home, I want to make sure that I am covered. Same thing with the bank. They're letting you borrow hundreds and thousands of dollars. So they want to make sure that you have the insurance already on hand, not after the fact. It's just like buying a car. Before you walk off, drive off the lot, guess what? You need to have insurance. So the same thing with these lenders, whether you're doing an FHA home loan, you're doing a VA home loan, same thing. But these are fees that has to be paid out to the lenders. With the VA loan, you have the funding fee because there's not really a down payment. So there's a funding fee. And that funding fee, depending on what I've learned, depending on how many times you've used your VA loan. So I believe, I can't remember the number, but when you use it for the first time, it's actually less compared to when you use it the second time. So I remember the second time I used it, I paid, again, this is the lending fee. And that fee to say, because the VA is giving me that loan to use and is a secure loan, excuse me, I think it was about $12,000 to $15,000 added on to my closing costs. But that was applied to my loan, okay, which the lender will pay to the VA, but I have to pay that throughout my loan. All right. And then with the conventional, same thing. You have to pay 1 year of private insurance. Again, private mortgage insurance as well too. So these are just some things that I want to share with you. Just kind of think of as you're transitioning to purchase your home, because sometimes we're just thinking about the home itself, and we're just thinking like, okay, the house is it's going to cost me $250,000, but then we have to think about, okay, that is just the home, which is not included the interest rate yet, which is not included the closing costs and all the different things that I talked about the, from the broker's commission, the attorney fees, the transfer tax, the title expenses, the loan fees, the appraisal fees, the survey fees, the additional items from the different lenders that you are utilizing. So it can be a lot, it can be overwhelming, but when you have a realtor who is really making sure that you are served, you are educated, and they have your best interests in mind all the time as they're navigating this journey with you, you should be okay, because you want someone who's going to educate you and say, hey, as you're going on this journey, these are the things that you want to have. And also the lender is going to provide you with that closing disclosure form, which lists everything that you are going to be responsible for. Is going to tell you the loan, the amount of the loan that you're getting, the interest rate, what you're going to pay monthly, all like it's very detailed, couple pages, and it will tell you exactly all the things. But the biggest thing is just making sure that you understand what's on those pages, which is going to help you by making sure that your realtor is serving you in the best capacity that he or she can. All right, any questions? I know I was just like talking, but let me know if there are any questions. I'm excited to be supporting you as a first-time home buyer, because for me, as an educator at heart, it's all about not just helping you to sell, buy a home, but helping you to be educated on making the best choice and buy that first home with confidence and ease. Yes, just lovely. They said so many fees. LOL. I better start my saving now. Yes, it can be a lot of fees. It can be overwhelming, but honestly, if you're educated and you're aware of those different fees that can come about based on your state, based on all the things that you want to have done to make sure that this house is good to go. Yes, but if you plan ahead and you look at all the different programs and assistance that you may receive here in Alabama. I talked about the Alabama Housing Authority Advantage, and how they have the different programs from Step Up, the subsidy program, and also the mortgage certificate program. These are all benefits that you can have and apply for. Well, you can apply for and see if you're qualified to get assistance with these things, because some of them help with closing costs, some of them help with down payments, so interest rates. So definitely look into your state and see what benefits that you can have as a first-time home buyer, okay, which is key. So definitely, I have an 18-year-old, so as she think about purchasing her first home, I'm going to make sure that we utilize all the benefits, okay? All right, any questions, anything from me, let me know. You can always catch me here. You can reach out into my inbox and send me a message if you have specific questions. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube at SMM Realty Group, living in Montgomery, Alabama. And I think I got the idea from someone, and what I'm going to probably do is create an actual guide with all this information that I'm sharing, so that you can have it like in your phone, on your computer, to look at and have with you all the time as you're navigating this journey of purchasing your first home. Okay. So if there are no questions, thank you so much for joining me. Like, I definitely appreciate you all like showing up every day. Just love you, ladies. Thank you for showing up every single day. I am here every day all this month, and I'm just sharing with you as a first-time home buyer or someone who's looking to purchase their next home, just things to be aware of, educational things when it comes to the real estate journey, and just making sure that you are able to move forward into that next journey with ease and confidence. So I am Shevvy, and I'm a retired Air Force veteran, and I help you buy your first or second home. So if you're in the market and you're like, yes, I'm ready to purchase in 2024, I'm done saying that I'm really ready to move forward and treat myself and reward myself on this home that I've been telling myself for the last 5, 6, 7 years that I want to purchase, then I would love to support you. All you have to do is just click the link in my bio on IG and book a free consultation, or you can just click the link in my description on YouTube to book a free consultation. All right, happy Sunday. I will see you all tomorrow, and have an amazing day, and let me know if you have any questions. See you.